wealthy women did not get up in the middle of the night if their baby cried, okay? They had a nanny, someone who probably slept in this room with the baby or the small children, and wealthy women saw their children very little, actually. She would probably see them in the morning, briefly, before they started their lessons. They did not go to public school. Mr. Studebaker hired a tutor who came to the house. The schoolroom was on the 3rd floor. They would see that they did not eat dinner with their parents. They ate dinner with their governess down in the family dining room. They went and spoke briefly to their parents before they went to bed. Tell them what they did that day, what they learned in school. Perhaps find out what their parents did. They would kiss them goodnight, and that would be the end of it. They just didn't have that kind of a, your mom didn't take care of you. They paid somebody to take care of you. I'm sure it was kind of a, you didn't know your mom or dad very well. Didn't know your mom or dad very well. They were just some people that you went to see every day. So it was kind of a different way of life. We can't quite understand that. Shelby, question.
How did they make the napkins like that?
Understand that. Shelby, question.
How did they make the napkins like that?
Oh, honey, they just make fancy napkins. I've seen fancier ones than these. They can make them so they look like swans.
Oh,
I've been to a wedding here where all the napkins were shaped like swans. So this is pretty simple. Yes, Christy.
Was there ever a fire in this room?
In this nursery, yes. This is where there was a fire. I believe the governess and one of the children were injured badly. I don't know if the governess died. The baby didn't, but the governess might have. I'm not sure. But there was the governess is the lady who took care of the children.
The governess. Oh, is the man.
Yes.
Throughout the whole house, what would it be like if you're still a baby throughout the whole house? If the governor, the people that watch the baby, what happens if you get out through the house and they go looking for you and your mom sees you out of the whole room?
Well, I'm sure the governess then would be fired and they'd hire someone else.
Oh,
Now, you can imagine this would be a great place if you were a kid, though, to play hide and seek.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be so fun. I can play the hide and seek. You could hide and we're being last so we can get out first.
Oh, yeah.
Are we the one that keeps last? Oh my God.
This is actually my favorite bedroom. This is George Studebaker and his wife's bedroom. George Studebaker was one of Clement and Mrs. Studebaker's children, sons. Sit down, please. And they lived here for a brief time, and this was their room. And I think I like this room because of the stained glass up in the transoms and this cute little place here. I love this bedroom. This is just wonderful. You'll notice every room just about has a fireplace. There was a reason. It was because that's the way you heated your house when this house was built. And then after they put central heating in, it was a coal furnace. And can you imagine how much coal it would take to heat a place like this? It probably took somebody shoveling coal into the furnace all day. It would be pretty amazing how many tons of coal you'd go through in a year. Brianna, none of the furniture was here. These are all replicas. Now you can imagine, why do you suppose these chairs are replicas of chairs that they actually had at the time the Studebakers lived here? Why would you have a chair like that? Now think about that. Why would you have a chair like that? It has the sides that kind of come around. And if you sit back, what do you think, Michaela?
Because if you were sitting in the sun or something, it's
It could block the sun. It also, as you can imagine, these windows, now today they have new outside windows, but it was very drafty. It was very cold. These were very cold houses in the wintertime. Often the only heat came from the fireplace. And so if you were sitting in front of the window, there would definitely be a draft, even though the window was shut. And so if you had sat in one of these chairs, the draft wouldn't get to you. So, Carolyn.
What does that door lead into?
That leads out into the hallway.
It says George and Anna.
Yeah.
Are those the real books that they left
No,
here?
no, no,
Are they
no.
real
None of
books?
the Studebaker things are here, honey. No. Yes. I don't know who made that particular one. I don't know. Yes.
They wouldn't pick up the house and put them.
Well, actually started put it on a different lane. It's on fire here.
I have no idea, sweetheart.
Carter?
I wonder why the guy made this house. I think.
People back then, okay, he had lots and lots of money. You don't know about income tax, but you will. This is before the days of income tax. And income tax is where the government takes a portion of your salary to help pay for the services that the government provides. And this is before the days of income tax. So people who had a business, anything they made, they didn't have to pay tax on it. They just kept piling it up. And people in those days, if they had a lot of money, they wanted to show people that they had a lot of money. And the easiest way to do that was to build a huge, impressive house. Now this was probably one of the grandest houses other than the Oliver Mansion. The Oliver Mansion actually is neater on the inside. It's livable. I could move in there. This house is not. This house is a little, I don't know. But the Oliver Mansion, if you ever get a chance to go to Tippecanoe, which is just down the street, the Olivers and the Studebakers are very good friends. They both had lots and lots and lots, boatloads of money. And they spent it on their houses. And building a big fancy house was a way to show that you were rich. Okay, that's why he built this house. Yes?
What do you mean as in this house is not as livable?
This house, now maybe if it wasn't a restaurant and had furniture in it, Tippecanoe, the Oliver Mansion, is very neat because the Oliver children, there were 4 children in that family, and they kept it for many, many years until just about 10 years ago for Notre Dame football games. And that's the only reason they kept the house, so they had a place to stay because none of them live around here when they came to Notre Dame football games. But it was staffed. It had a butler, it had servants that lived there and took care of the house, and they were here maybe, however many home games there are. And they finally decided that they wanted to do something with the property. The children were getting too old to come to the football games, and they were getting up in years. And so they gave the house, they took a few personal things, and they gave the house and everything in it, even the clothes in the drawers, everything, to the Historical Society. So when you go to Tippecanoe, which is fabulous, decorated at Christmas, when I taught 6th grade, I used to take my 6th graders there. Everything you see is their stuff. It's just like they walked away. They took a few personal things, they took some pictures, they took a few personal pieces, but other than that, everything there is exactly as they left it. They just walked away. And so, and they had very good taste, but it isn't over the top. It isn't real fancy. It's very livable. They had 4 kids, and they had 4 kids that lived in that house, and it was for their kids. And so it's a very livable house. This one is a little bit fancy for my taste, but hey, you got it. Why not? Oh, I've got lots of questions. We got to get them rolling here. Make sure it's a question, not a comment. Yes.
When Mr. Studebaker and Mrs. Studebaker moved from here, where do they live? Where do they go?
They passed away in this house. They passed away when were living here.
Oh.
And the night, yeah. Yes.
Well, when the Olivers and the Studebakers died, what happened to their money?
Their money, oh, they still have it, honey. It's all in great big piles and banks. Their grandchildren have it. I'm sure none of them have to work, unless they choose to.
How did they
Carter.
die? How did they die?
Oh, just of old age, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know, yes.
And then why did they die like this? They passed on their grandchildren.
Glass in front of the curtains.
Yeah.
And they kept
Hold on.
passing it on.
30
What are you talking about?